Alright, so last night, I believe, Capcom blessed us with some more A.K.I goodness, and I'm really looking forward to this character. So I was very excited to watch this. We got some new A.K.I gameplay, and it's not like super fast cuts like it was in the reveal trailer. It's like a whole round of A.K.I just kicking the shit out of Chun-Li. So I thought it'd be worth having a look at. And I also want to talk a bit about the like inspiration behind A.K.I's design in this game. Like her gameplay design, because there's something that I think is really interesting that I'm really looking forward to, but we'll get there. Let's watch the trailer first. She likes poison. I love how this round looks like a highlight reel already. God, look at this juggle, man. That is so cool. And then she command grabs you at the end. Sheesh. Chun didn't get to do anything. And then you get one of the coolest win animations I've ever seen. She summons the big bubble of poison and then, like, rains down on her. That's so cool. This character is sick. So let's kind of break down like each individual interaction here, because there's a lot to go through. So the very first thing we see is this is literally like one-to-one F.A.N.G's EX command dash from Street Fighter V. It went through fireballs and it had some invincibility in that game. This was like F.A.N.G's best get out of jail option. It lost to throws though. It does seem to be strike invincible. Like, we see it going through the fireball, and we see it still being invincible. Like, Chun-Li's crouch medium kick goes straight through it here. So it does look like it has a lot of invincibility if that is how it works. Because I think in Street Fighter V, F.A.N.G's EX dash would have been hit at this point. It would have run out of invincibility by now. But she seems to be invincible for almost the entire dash. But we'll have to see. And then she does a jump heavy punch, and this is one of the most ambiguous jump normals I've seen in a long time. Even with the trailer, I have no fucking clue what side this is hitting on. Is this front? Is this behind? I don't know. She lands behind. I think it stayed same side. Possibly. But that's a very crazy air normal. It's not often that jump heavy punch is a cross up. But yeah. No idea what that was. And then she goes into, I think this is Stam medium punch. Into fireball. And then into the whip. I don't know what the moves are actually called. I'm just using the names that I've made up for them. And Chun gets hit and gets sent flying away. Now, one thing I should mention is that a few times in this trailer, you'll notice that A.K.I lands a hit and it plays this little like sound effect. Like a little kind of squealing sound effect for a split second. Can you hear that on the whip? Now it's worth mentioning that that sound effect plays about 4 or 5 times throughout this gameplay clip. And it doesn't happen every time, and there's a reason for that. I'll explain it in a minute. So like right there, Chun-Li gets hit this time and it doesn't do the sound effect and this doesn't knock down. See, it stays standing. But then she gets hit again, and it does play the sound effect. So the first one doesn't, and then the second one does. And then it plays there as well. It plays there as well. Like, there's a little buzz, and there's also a little lightning effect that appears. So, this is what I wanted to get into. This is what I was leading up to. A.K.I is very obviously heavily influenced in her gameplay design by F.A.N.G. That's obvious. She's F.A.N.G's apprentice. She's got a ton of F.A.N.G's moves. But she also has borrowed a mechanic from a completely different character. It's time to talk about Street Fighter V. I'm gonna jump back into Street Fighter V real quick just to talk about this. I'm gonna launch the game that I haven't launched since June 2nd of this year. I'm going to break the unwritten rule. In Street Fighter V, we have Gill. And for those who don't know, let me give you a quick primer on Gill in Street Fighter 5. Gill has a completely unique mechanic in this game called Retribution. And basically what it means is he can apply a status effect to the opponent of either fire or ice. So he can either add a fire effect to the opponent or an ice effect to the opponent. And then if you hit the opponent again with the opposite element, it activates an effect called Retribution, which has a bunch of different effects depending on what you do. But generally it extends combos, it gives you bigger juggles, more frame advantage, better conversions, all kinds of things. So like for example, if I land Fire Lariat, it's a knockdown. But if I put them in the ice and then land Fire Lariat, it's a launcher. So the idea of Retribution system is basically that you land a hit and apply a status effect, and then you land another hit afterwards, activate that status effect, and get even more reward. Bigger combos, longer juggles, you know, better corner carry, all kinds of things, depending on what you land. So, where am I going with this? Well, in Street Fighter 6, it looks like A.K.I has a very, very similar mechanic to Retribution. So, the way this works, it was mentioned in the PlayStation dev blog, but it's very obvious in the way they've structured this trailer. But if A.K.I poisons you and then hits you again with a poison move while you're already poisoned, it activates that little effect that I kept mentioning where you can hear like a sort of screeching sound effect. And it seems to massively increase the combo potential of her special moves. So let's just watch it again with that in mind. So like I said, the whip here doesn't knock down, but because she's poisoned from this, it activates the kind of Retribution effect. I'm going to call it Retribution because I don't know what the official name is. Let's just call it Retribution for the time being. And that causes this to knock down. So same thing again happens here. She gets hit with the poison status from the first one, and then the second one detonates it, and it causes this like big launch tumble state. I wouldn't be surprised if A.K.I can get a juggle off this. And then here's where things get really crazy. So A.K.I puts down the poison puddle. Chun wakes up into it, so she immediately gets poisoned just by being next to it. And then A.K.I does her dive out of Coward Crouch. This was a move from the previous trailer that we saw. Also, it turns out, I guess this is a projectile invulnerable as well. So in the previous trailer, in the reveal trailer, when she does this dive out of... let me just turn the speed down. When she does this dive out of Coward Crouch in the earlier trailer, it's a big knockdown. But the Retribution version causes a crumple. So she gets a full combo out of this. This leads to a big fancy juggle. Ending in level 1. But there's a lot going on here because like you have to keep track of a lot of things here. So like let me explain to you how many different times this like Retribution effect is activating in this one combo. So like if you actually keep track of this, it's quite complicated. So Chun wakes up into the puddle and gets poisoned. A.K.I hits her with the kind of Retribution coward dive thing, whatever this is called. Chun gets hit, but then immediately gets re-poisoned. I don't know if you guys can see, she's got like a green aura around her. So although she's just had her poison status like exploded, she actually immediately gets re-poisoned because she was still over the puddle. So she's poisoned again right here. And that's what causes this, the EX version, I think, to do the Retribution effect. So I think in this combo there's like 3 different times that the kind of poison Retribution activates. So I feel like A.K.I is going to require a lot of situational awareness, which I love. You guys know me, I love a technical character. So being able to get cool combos by like re-poisoning the opponent 4 times in one combo, this is exactly the kind of thing I've been looking forward to. I guess one of the questions that we still don't really know the answer to is whether or not she's a charge character. I'm thinking she might not be because there's a point early on where here she does the jump fierce, lands behind, does stand medium punch, and goes straight into fireball. So, assuming this is a left-right charge, I don't see how you could charge this in time. Like, this doesn't seem like it would be long enough to charge the fireball. So I'm leaning towards her. She's either not a charge character or possibly a hybrid charge on certain specials. This is easily the DLC character that I'm most hyped for right now. Like, I cannot wait for A.K.I to arrive. I'm going to be playing her solidly on release. I'm super happy to see that Retribution got brought back, because it was a really cool mechanic that was unfortunately locked behind Gill, who was not a strong character for Street Fighter V's entire life. Like, Gill never really got a chance to shine, but I'm glad that some of his tools have been repackaged. Maybe someday he'll show up as DLC, but I think that's a really cool decision. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about A.K.I, if you're looking forward to her, and I will catch you guys in the next video.